This Linux Radio 101.1 FM, evolving around you.
At noon, federal government strategizes on preventable medication. UN releases $10 million aid for acute malnutrition in Northeast. Akwa Ibom State Governor Domi Emmanuel announces application for power distribution license. On the foreign scene, Uganda confirms fresh Ebola outbreak. In sport, 18 players hit camp as Ahmed Musa, Samuel Chukwueze get replacements in friendly match against Algeria. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon, welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM with you. I am Bright James. First in the news this afternoon, Akwa Ibom State Governor Domi Emmanuel has announced that the state government has applied for power distribution license, noting that when approved, a power utility company would be set up to distribute electricity generated in the state for improved power supply. Governor Emmanuel, who made the announcements during a parley with journalists and media managers at the state government house, said his administration has largely achieved the promises he made to the people of the state in all sectors of the economy.
I want to announce to you, as a state, I've applied for license for distribution, where we set up a utility company, handle our distribution, so that whatsoever we generate, we can take, distribute to our people, and then they will have light. Once that license is signed, but I had the assurance, even 2 weeks ago we had a meeting, they assured me they will approve that license. The day that license is signed, we'll announce our private utility company, and then we'll start our distribution, and then see whatsoever Ibom Power can generate, we can also take and pay.
The governor, who reeled out some of the achievements of his administration in road infrastructure's expansion, aviation development, healthcare facility development, and human capital development, said his administration has utilized available resources to develop the area. Government House correspondent Jane Owa reports that the governor maintained that more mega development projects like the Etebi-Ewang Road, the MRO and terminal building at the Victor Ota International Airport would be completed before the end of his administration.
This is one state that the day I leave office, we would have linked all areas by major, great quality road across this state. Everywhere will be linked up. And that will ease a whole lot of economic development and will set the pace. Whatsoever is remaining, I'm believing in the next 7 months, we should be able to deliver on major ones. It's a whole lot. So today, we have a conquered. And that's not even the story. The story that will gladden your heart is that, as of today, our MRO is more than 95% completion. 95%. In the whole of this region, there's no single MRO. Not even a national has an MRO. So for a sub-national to do an MRO is a major breakthrough economically for us.
In the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Governor Domi Emmanuel has blamed some challenges being faced in the country on the complacency of some Christians to governance issues. Governor Emmanuel, who said this at a one-day mega prayer rally with the theme, "Oh God, behold our land," maintained that if Christians take their rightful place in national issues, they would be in a better position to redeem the situation and dictate the direction of things in the country.
Let me also charge those who are playing religion that we are where we are today because the Christians have left the space. In Christianity, we are only complaining. If Christians want to redeem the land, they must be involved. Because even before God could change the situation where man found himself, God had to come in the form of man. Christians are in the right direction to tune the direction of this country. The matter of 2023 is a decree of the watchers. And who are the watchers? The men of God.
Governor Emmanuel therefore charged Christian leaders and faithful to be involved in the leadership recruitment process as 2023 election approaches.
Anywhere you see a king, there must be a priest. The only difference is that those who have other priests that they cannot showcase, they cannot bring them out like this. But some of us that have a priest that is in order of the authority of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, we flaunt our priest. And these are my priests. I can show them to any wall. Some of those people can never let you see their priest. Even their mode of dressing will frighten some of you here. So I really want to appreciate our fathers in faith for standing by the state.
Government House correspondent January reports that the prayer rally also featured intercessory prayers for the state and nation. In education, all is now set for the second international conference of the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics ASUP, Akwa Ibom State Polytechnic Chapter, Ikorosura, Ikorekbene. The conference, which has as its theme Re-engineering Nations Systems for Sustainable Development, will hold from Tuesday, September 20 to Friday, September 23rd, 2022 at the ASUP's Hall of the Polytechnic. Over 1,000 scholars from within and outside the state are expected to attend the conference. A statement by the Chairman, Local Organizing Committee, LOC, and Polytechnics Librarian, Dr. Mercy Ukbana, and Secretary, Dr. Imen Sobut, indicates that Professor Nabugokon Edi of the Department of Chemistry, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and Professor Nayan Kawa of the International Research Institute, University of Putra, Malaysia, will be lead speakers, while Professor Pierre Lakman of the Department of Business Administration, University of Rio, will be the keynote speaker. The conference, which has as sub-themes socio-political systems for sustainable development, energy and economic growth for sustainable development, safe and sustainable environment for development, quality and affordable education for sustainable development, also has as sub-themes innovation in science, technology, and engineering for sustainable development, justice, equity, and partnership for sustainable development, and innovation in communication for sustainable development. The release indicates that the program of schedule has day 1, September 20, as arrival, day 2, September 21st for the opening ceremony, which will also feature a registration, keynote address, lead paper 1, and plenary session 1, while day 3, September 22nd, will have lead paper presentation 2, plenary session 2, technical sessions, and collection of certificates by participants, while departure is billed for day 4, September 23rd, 2022. The conference will also have the rector of the Polytechnic, Dr. Moses Omobong, as the chief host, while the Akwa Poly ASUP chairman, Comrade Eteyenoko, as the host. Away from that, following the alleged unnecessary taxations on commercial drivers in the state, Township Drivers Association (TDAs) have called on the government to take appropriate actions in putting a stop to the situation. Speaking during an interview with Planet News, President of the association, Charles Ekbo, expressed sadness over the various schemes of extorting money from tricycle and bus drivers in the state from unknown groups, describing the phenomena as inhuman, while calling on the government to come to their aid.
We have so many problems that are facing drivers, especially the issue of this biometric identification number. It has caused so many havoc in this state. Before now, many vehicles have been registered with the Ministry of Transport, and there was a foreign consultant that came up with the renewal. Initially, when we reached the vehicle, there was nothing like expiring dates. But unfortunately, they came up with issue of renewal. Then drivers said, no, we don't want that biometric renewal because it's already there. It's in the system. This is a means of collecting money from drivers, in which we said capital no. We are calling on the government to come to our aid to rescue us from this predicament.
The Public Relations Officer at TDA, Basi Udofia, indicates that the extortions were made by unknown persons under the Ministry of Transport. Udofia, however, urged the government to intervene in the situation, which he described as devastating. He stressed that biometric registration should be meant for only new commercial vehicles yet to be registered.
We are doing transport business, which is legally known by the federal government of Nigeria, and has given us the legal backing that what we are doing is acceptable. But what we are seeing in the system is multiplicity of tax, extortion, double taxation. We complained this into Ministry of Transport since year 2017 up to today. They turned deaf ear to it. Something that is alarming now is the issue of MOT. We don't believe that Attorney General of the State is aware of this because we have never heard by one time how those things is passed from bill to law. But now they are imposing on the innocent citizens and they say every 6 months we should come and renew it. So it is quite unfair.
Also speaking with our correspondent, Esther Oposin, the Union Secretary General Abel Jeremiah described the state as a peaceful place where such acts should not occur. He therefore urged the government to call the culprits to order and immediately address the issue.
We are here to inform the government and other relevant authorities that we drivers, including tricycle operators, are going through pains in our daily operations as a result of multiple taxation. People are hiding under the pretext of being in the ministry to oppress us. At this point, we will use all the legal means to defend ourselves. I want government to call those people concerned to order.
Now to the national scene, where the federal government has said that strategies had been put in place for the reduction of severe preventable medication-related harm by 50% in the next 5 years. Dr. Sage Ehanire, Minister of Health, said this in Abuja at the news conference to commemorate the 2022 World Patient Safety Day. Ehanire, represented by Adebimpe Adebi, Director of Hospital Services, Ministry of Health, said the day was marked annually on September 17th. Ehanire further noted that the reduction would be by making improvements at each stage of the medication process, including prescribing, dispensing, administering, monitoring, and use. According to him, under-reporting of medication errors is also an issue. Ehanire said that a high incidence of major medication errors related to the prescription of incorrect antiretroviral therapy (ART) protocols and potential drug. He said that drug interactions in Nigeria's HIV treatment program have been reported in the past. In a separate development, the United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has announced the release of $10 million under the Central Emergency Response Fund for urgent aid to victims in northeast Nigeria food and nutrition crisis. This is contained in a statement by OCHA in Maiduguri. The UN says no less than 1.74 million children under the age of 5 are expected to suffer from acute malnutrition in the northeast this year. The UN, however, noted that the consequences of inaction were a matter of life and death, as more than 5,000 were expected to die, while those who survived could face lifelong disabilities. Matthias Schammel, the UN resident and humanitarian coordinator for Nigeria, stressed that the group urgently needed to close the funding gap to rapidly scale up response and implement immediate life-saving measures. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Let's take a breather and then bring more stories from our foreign sports and entertainment scenes. To stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Healthway, awareness for healthy choices.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, on the foreign scene, a 24-year-old man infected with Ebola has died in central Uganda, in a fresh outbreak confirmed by the health officials. The health minister told newsmen that the victim had exhibited symptoms before succumbing to the disease. He was a resident of Ngabano village in Madombe district, about 91 miles from the capital, Kampala. According to the World Health Organization in a statement, the case of the relatively rare Sudan strain was confirmed by the Uganda Virus Research Institute. It says 8 people with suspected symptoms are receiving medical care and that it is sending staff to the affected area. Reports say the East African country last reported an outbreak of the strain in 2012. In sports, 18 Super Eagles players have arrived in Marriott Hotel in Algeria, Super Eagles camp opened ahead of the international friendly match against the Desert Foxes of Algeria. Consequently, Hadruk split of Croatian midfielder, Chukwueze Awazim was the first to arrive at camp before other 17 players joined him as training is slated to begin today. Meanwhile, the Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa has been ruled out of the match due to an injury, while Villarreal forward Samuel Chukwueze was the latest player to withdraw from the game in Algeria. Both players have been replaced by Rivers United Ebola and Godwin Saviour of Portuguese side Casa Pia. Now on the entertainment scene, South African award-winning disc jockey and record producer DJ Mafriza has spiked up many fuses online after hinting at partnering with Nigerian veteran artists Burna Boy and Davido for the upcoming 2022 Armour Fest, which has been situated to take place in Britain. According to reports, the Armour Fest is a shortened word for Armour Piano Festival, which has been dominating and uniting several African top artists. The festival will hold in the UK around December and will be attracting other top artists from all over the world. It's been the news on Planet Radio. In the news, we told you the federal government has said that strategies had been put in place for the reduction of severe preventable medication-related harm by 50% in the next 5 years. The United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has announced the release of $10 million under the Central Emergency Response Fund for urgent aid to victims in northeast Nigeria food and nutrition crisis. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Imaro has announced that the state government has applied for power distribution license, noting that when approved, a power utility company would be set up to distribute electricity generated in the state for improved power supply. On the foreign scene, we told you that a 24-year-old man infected with Ebola has died in central Uganda in a fresh outbreak confirmed by health officials. In sport, we reported that 18 Super Eagles players arrived in Marriott in Algeria as Super Eagles camp opened ahead of the international friendly match against the Desert Foxes of Algeria. For comments and coverage of newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812 770 2940. That is 0812 770 2940. Visit our website at planet101fm.ng. Follow us on Twitter at planet_101fm. You can also like our verified Facebook page at planet101fm. The news was edited by Jane Owa. As you end the news, be reminded that it is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change. So make that move today. I am Bright James. Good afternoon, and thank you for listening. Well, quick reminder that we'll be live shortly for the commissioning of the IBB flood control project by Governor Udom Imaro as part of activities marking the state's 35th year anniversary after creation. Stay right here with us and do enjoy the rest of your day.